You are listening to the Planned Routine podcast, where you will explore all kinds of techniques, different ideas, and personal experiences related to productivity, building habits, learning projects, and so much more. If that sounds interesting to you, then keep listening. And now I leave you with your host, Hussam Malam.
Hello, this is the first episode from Planned Routine Podcast, and in this very episode we're going to talk about the learning project upgraded memory. So, let's get started. Would it not be fantastic if you could time travel to 400 BC and have tea with Socrates? Well, let's say you took a notebook with you and you wanted to take as many notes as possible, expecting that he would shower you with a lot of words of wisdom. As you start doing that, you realize that Socrates is getting a little bit uncomfortable. Do you wonder why he's objecting that? Like, what would he be against you actually taking notes? Well, it turned out that Socrates was not fond of writing. He prefers the most natural approach, communicating and delivering lectures orally. He thought the moment people start writing, they begin to forget. So, if we have to learn things without writing them down, where do we actually store them? In memory, of course. But how can someone manage the massive amount of knowledge one must learn daily? Well, it turned out that there are some techniques or memory techniques that are used by the ancient Greeks and Romans. So I decided it was time to start looking for materials to improve my memory. And that was based on Socrates' premise and some other reasons, such as necessity of knowing a bunch of numbers. For example, my second phone number, other significant numbers for emergencies and birthdays, and bank and credit card numbers. The ability to store books and courses notes in my head to become a better learner. And I would love to memorize tons of English vocabulary to improve my English. You can visit our website, plannedroutine.com, and check the navigation bar for learning projects and enter the learning projects for upgraded memory. There you can find the learning map. You can actually print it and stick it to your wall if you want to. And of course, that's if you really want to do the challenge yourself. The first title in this learning project is More Walking with Einstein. I immensely enjoyed reading this title. The author will take you on a journey of exploration regarding the history of memory techniques and all aspects related to memory, learning, and forgetting. Don't expect to learn so many practical things here. If I remember correctly, there's only one time when the author asks you to follow his method to remember a list of shopping items, which is useful to have so that you can really have a taste for someone who never tried any memory techniques before. Overall, this book will be your appetite for exploring the world of memory techniques, and you can find it on Amazon if you really want to purchase it. This book needs around 20 hours of reading and 4 hours of taking notes to make a summary. The secrets for a powerful memory. This course is from the Great Courses, or Wonderium for now, because they changed their company. Anyways, this course is a quick introductory to the world of memorization. It introduces two techniques, the measure system and the method of loci. But other than that, it is more general knowledge about memory, which can be quite insightful despite being more theoretical rather than practical. Finishing the course, it would take me around 12 hours and 4 hours of taking notes and making summary. So we have the ebook from theartofmemory.com. This ebook is a very short one and it's free, which is a good thing, provided by the famous artofmemory.com website, and they have a very interesting forum that I really recommend you to check it out because it has a lot of people who are interested into improving their memories. Anyways, I think it's an excellent and fast introduction to many memory techniques you can acquire and use out of the box. It is crucial to gradually expose yourself to many memory techniques to be aware of their possibilities, and you will gain awareness that some techniques are suited for one thing and not another. Hence, going with this material, I think it's very important. Finishing reading this book would take me 5 hours and 4 hours to experiment with some of the techniques provided within it. The fourth material in the list is Guided Imagery course from Coursera. One can be surprised to see such material in the learning map, like why such techniques used purely for relaxation have anything to do with memorization. It is more important than you think. There is a connection between imagination and relaxation. If you imagine anything that is good, let's say a scene from nature, it will make you relaxed. And the more relaxed you are, the better your focus gets. And in that state of focus, it's more likely that you retain information in a better way. So I think since we are going to deal with a lot of information, we cannot do that in a stressful state, which is going to make the studying and retaining process more exhausting and less efficient. Well, since this course is from Coursera, it must be legit, right? Well, we don't have to take this claim for granted. Upon checking this course, I found that it's taught by an English teacher from the University of Minnesota, and she has 20 years of clinical work as a nurse and has a unique approach to integrated health. She's big on self-care and the importance of well-being. The course has 4 weeks in length. And on the course page, the estimated time to complete the course is around 16 hours, which of course for me is an underestimation. I noticed this on Coursera repeatedly. Lack of accuracy when it comes to needed time for completing numerous courses existing on their platform. The course will walk you through topics such as the role of guided imagery in health, how precisely guided imagery is used in health, exploring some apps that use this technique, and how can you create your own guided imagery for both personal and professional settings. I think it would take me 21 hours to finish watching the videos and going through the articles as well. Then I'll be spending around 3 hours to memorize 100 random linked words, and then 3 hours for writing and memorizing my own guided imagery. And we just arrived to the fifth material, which is the memory book by Harry Lorraine. This book is essential and probably the most famous book on memory improvement in the memory literature. It's boasting with almost 2,000 reviews on Amazon. It is well received and still timeless despite the release date. It has more than 26 chapters. Fear not, these chapters are quite short, and they have just the right amount of information and assignments as well. It's built around the major system, so it's pretty valuable for remembering historical dates, birth dates, bank accounts, and credit card numbers. We need this book in our journey because it's crucial to deeply understand the major system while experimenting with memorizing different things. It would take me 47 hours to finish reading this book, which sounds quite a lot, but I think it's worth it. Plus 4 hours to memorize world currencies and 50 world history key events. Moving on to the sixth material, which is Quantum Memory Power by Dominic O'Brien. This exciting book was written by someone who won the World Memory Champion 8 times. And he's the current World Senior Memory Champion, UK Open, and the Pan-European Champion. He has written 15 books about memory improvement. 2 are included in this map, the one we're talking about right now, and there is another one titled You Can Have an Amazing Memory, released in 2011. Quantum Memory Power is more like something to warm up with and get familiar with the Dominic memory system. I would like to quote a passage from the book that talks about exactly what you expect finding in this book. You will learn to remember names, faces, numbers, birthdays, dates, appointments, speeches, or any sequence of numbers you want. Once you have unleashed your memory power, there will be no limits to the type of or quantity of information you can store. With each powerful technique in quantum memory power, you will be given practical applications and exercises to test and strengthen your abilities in each area. So this book should provide enough material for one to get familiar with the Dominic system and perhaps even get good to some extent. And also, there is an audiobook version for people who would like to listen to it on the go. So, I think it will take me 27 hours to work through this book and 4.5 hours for the mini challenges. We arrived at the seventh material, and guess what? Who's with us again? Dominic O'Brien. With his book, You Can Have an Amazing Memory.
So, well, this is probably one of the most interesting and must-read memory books that exist out there. This is a 12 years old book, and according to many reviews found on Amazon, and it's timeless and it's still applicable pretty much to a lot of domains of knowledge when it comes to memorization, of course. And after having like a quick overview of this book, I found that Dominic will talk about his journey through the difficulties he had as a child, diagnosed with dyslexia, and the countless comments from his teacher that suggested that he may not go far in life. But of course, as we'll see with the amazing progress he made across the years, the good thing is for people who are inspired to improve their memories, the techniques Dominic shared are the ones he used and experimented with through trial and error, which inevitably led him to win 8 times the world's memory championship. You will learn through this book the link method and the importance of imagination to make things stick to the brain, using the method journey, how to memorize a deck of cards, his system, Dominic's system, and so on. He talks specifically about the memory championship and provides some really interesting practices for those who want to compete in competitions such as binary digits, names and faces, abstract images, and so on. Some practical things you can benefit from are improving speeches and becoming knowledgeable by holding a massive amount of knowledge, or as I like to call it, a fact memory. I love that term. Completing this book is probably going to take me 25 hours, and I need 5 hours to memorize periodic table. Now we arrive to the 8th material, which is The Memory Code by Lynn Kelly. This book is just for entertainment purposes. I mean, it's not like the previous one. It focuses on exploring the influence of memory techniques in oral cultures, tracing them back many thousands of years ago. Well, before the ancient Greeks, actually. What was interesting about these pre-illiterate people is that they used memory techniques to memorize their calendars, the times of their rituals, and a lot of the celebration they held. The book lacks a practical approach, I believe, despite the attempts of the author to show so many techniques. According to my expectation, it should take me around 28 hours to finish it. The next item is Mnemonics Memory Palace Book 1 and 2 by an author that I do not want to mispronounce his name. I mean, you can check his book on the website or you can just find it on Amazon. I apologize for the author. So, the 2 short books by this author talk specifically about memory palaces, as the book's description says. It's packed with many valuable tips, tricks to create your memory palaces and store the information there. It has good reviews from people who read it. Some of them think it can be pretty repetitive, but for our purposes, I think repetition is key in order to have a better mastery over this memory technique. It's expected to take me around 8 hours to finish both of the first book and its exercises, plus another 8 hours to finish the second book and its exercises. As for the mini challenge for this material, it's going to be learning 50 or memorizing 50 facts learned from the different books that we have been through so far, and using memory techniques, of course. That's the purpose of learning memory palaces, in order to use them and store some important information in them. We arrived at the 10th material, and this time it's not going to be a book. I'm sure you'll get tired of bombarding you with a lot of books. Now it's time to take a break and actually consume a course instead. This course is named Memory Masterclass by Anthony Metivier. And for those who don't know Anthony Metivier, he's one of the most known people in the memory improvement space. He has some exciting content and a podcast that I keep coming back to because it has a lot of important and really practical stuff about learning and improving your memory, and even things related to philosophy and psychology. He creates really cool stuff. I really recommend that you check his podcast if you are interested into bettering your learning experience overall. In this course, which is 5 hours long, Anthony will take us on a journey to explore memory palaces in depth and how to make them and how to use them in different scenarios. And one of those interesting scenarios is memorizing a textbook. He also included 80 pages of PDF files that will help you with more practical tips that are supposed to be complementing the content provided on the video format. The expected time to go through the material, it should be 28 hours plus 4 hours of experimentation. In addition, the mini challenge of this course, it's about memorizing 30 favorite quotes of mine, plus memorization of all countries and their capitals. So that's around 390 words. I think it would take me 36 hours to finish that challenge. Moving on to the next material, which is the 11th one. It is a short ebook written by Anthony Metivier. It's called How to Learn and Memorize a Randomized Deck of Playing Cards. Another work from Anthony, right? Well, it's just a tiny book, so don't worry about it. The aim of this book is very simple. It is about memorizing deck of cards. So I think it would take me 10 hours to finish this book, plus 10 hours more to reach the point of being able to memorize 5 decks in a row in just one single hour. The following item is how to remember your dreams. And this one is created by Anthony Metivier. And at this point, you might be wondering, why should I keep including the content of Anthony Metivier? Well, for obvious reasons, because the memory improvement space only has few people in it, and he's one of the most interesting creators out there. And like I said, I like his content. Anyways, so let's see why we are including this book. Well, according to many studies, they're showing the importance of sleep, especially at the REM stage, and its effects on the memory consolidation. And at this very stage, dreaming occurs, of course. Since we dream and can recall those dreams, it's an excellent opportunity to use memory techniques to remember them. And going to the question we asked in episode 0 of the podcast, what makes us make the most out of our time on Earth? Of course, I mean, you can't enjoy a whole life while neglecting a third or even quarter of your life for those who sleep 6 hours a day. It would be much better to enjoy your dreams, recall them, and maybe gain some insights from your subconscious self. Hence, we need such course. According to Anthony, he promises us that by following these shared techniques, we should be able to develop visual skills that help with other areas of memory, learn advanced tips for dream recall, train the memory when working on the dream recalling on a daily basis, and we can tap into a hidden part of our personality and understand it better. I think it would take me about 15 hours to consume the videos, plus 16 hours to read books provided alongside the course. That is 31 hours of investment. The challenges of this material will be making a memory palace for emergency dream journaling and going for a month doing dream journaling. The 11th material is the Hack-Proof Password System by Brad Zupp. As the title suggests, this book will be focused on teaching you how to build a system of memorizing passwords, which will come in handy, especially that I have a big database of passwords using the Impasse Password Manager. Since we have mentioned Impasse, I must say it is one of my favorite tools out there. I've been using it for years, and it never betrayed my trust. My accounts are being secure, and I feel more confident, opening multiple accounts in multiple services and just storing them there, knowing that I'm being safe. The book has a very good reviews on Amazon, and for me, I think it will help me to move the most used 50 accounts from my password manager into my internal memory. It is just another way to use my memory more. This short book needs 15 hours of investments, and 10 hours of that would be focused on a deep form of intensive reading and 5 hours of experimentation. As for the challenge, I think, like I stated, I need to be moving 50 accounts to my internal memory, which would take me 10 hours of practice. We are almost going to wrap up our learning map, but before that, we need to check the 14th material, which is remember it. The names of people you meet, all of your passwords, where you left your keys, and everything else you tend to forget, by Nelson Dellis. So at this stage, maybe we don't need any other books, right? Because we might just have been through all the techniques out there. Well, that could be true. The only reason I had this book is that I noticed it has a lot of graphics, which can serve as an aid to memorize things way easier. But not only that, it has some more memory exercises that one can add to benefit from. Like, why not? So it would take me 20 hours of reading, 10 hours of practice, and another 16 hours to go through following challenges. Memorize 300 pi digits, memorize 5 meditation exercises, memorize 3 yoga exercises, and memorize 103 yoga terms. Coming up to the final item on our learning project, which is Memory Craft by Lynn Kelly. This is the second book by Lynn Kelly, the anthropologist and memory championship. The difference here is that this book promises to provide a more practical approach in order to provide many techniques, their origins, and how they can be used to learn to memorize a speech, learning languages, and the body's anatomy, and so much more. It's refreshing to see someone her age doing incredible feats of memory. Her academic approach makes this book worth having on the learning map, so that one can benefit from both her thorough research and experience with memorization. Something cannot be found with Francis Yates, which was more historian than anything else. Now that we have covered all the 15 materials that I'm going to go through, I need to be talking about the final challenges as well. So those are the core meat of the learning project. The first final challenge is making 1,100 POA memory cases, which uses the Dominic method. I think it will take me 50 hours to accomplish this goal. The second final challenge is memorizing the multiplication table of 11 till 31. That's the 390 results of the products of all these number combinations. And then we have the final challenge. That's the most difficult challenge, and hence it's called the last one, because I will be memorizing more than 1,100 words using the book Word Power Made Easy by Norman Lewis, using the POA I made in the final challenge 1. So that was it for today. Hopefully, guys, I have provided some inspiration for you to probably try this learning map with me if you want to, or even start your own learning journey. So far we have covered the 15 materials that are going to be used in this learning project, plus the 3 final challenges. And for now, I want to mention the estimated time to complete the learning project. So, as you know, the learning project is based on the premise that you should decide a final deadline to complete the project. This is the way that helps you to stay focused, stay on track until you get your objective done. So I started this challenge on the 1st of February 2023, and I am supposed to be completing everything by the date of 18th of July 2023. So to a little bit facilitate things for me, I decided to split the learning projects and then the final challenges into 7 milestones. The first milestone is after completing 4 materials, the second one after completing 7 materials, the third one after completing 11 materials. By completing 15 materials, I'll be achieving the 4th milestone, and for the 5th and 6th and 7th is for first final project, the second final project, and the third final project. In a nutshell, it will take me around 633 hours to complete everything. That's a 26.83 hours every single week. That is 3 hours and 50 minutes every single day for 24 weeks. There are no days off because you can't have that. Yeah, you can't afford that because you're having a mission of completing this learning project. So I think that's pretty much it. Wish me good luck, guys, and I'll be happy to keep you updated about my progress. And I'll be honest, regardless if I have failures or successes, it's always good to be honest about documenting your process, because it serves as a learning opportunity to improve if things don't go your own way. So if you want to join me into this challenge, you're welcome to do so. Or if you want to create your own learning project and, learn something valuable that could change your life. So I'll see you next time.
You have been listening to the Planned Routine podcast. If you liked the episode, please make sure that you subscribe to the show and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to check out our website, plannedroutine.com. Until the next time, stay healthy and productive.